Yeah, finally found that video. How you doing? You ready? I'm ready.
What's going on?
Huh. Well, at least you got a mouth now.
I don't think so there, buddy.
Okay. Sorry. Hey, how you doing?
Hey Rangers, welcome to Super Important Reviews. My name's Steve, and today we'll be going over the SAS Super Action Statue Izumi Shinichi And Migi from Parasyte the Maxim. If you guys haven't checked out this anime, definitely need to go check it out. One of my favorites of all time. If you guys haven't seen a review on the Geek Chest, just click on that card right there. But for you guys that have seen the anime, this anime is freaking awesome, and I was super excited about this toy when I first seen it spoiled, which is kind of funny because I haven't really ever dealt with a super action statue figure, but kind of got turned on to it by Def to Cornbread. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, super awesome reviewer, does very thorough reviews of these action figures, does a lot of anime ones. And if you guys haven't seen an anime review of any of the action figures that aren't on my channel, he might have them over there. Like I've had a few requests for the Figma Mikasa from Attack on Titan, which I sadly don't own and not sure if I'm going to get, but he has one over there, you know, so you guys should definitely go check him out. Really awesome reviewer. And he helped me find this figure for a pretty reasonable price on AmiAmi, and actually this figure showed up stupid quick too, so definitely recommend you guys go check that website out if you guys are interested in this figure after this review. But without further ado, for the packaging, super awesome packaging. Really like the actual style on it, where it has this very nice black with gray borders here, where it kind of has this more like DNA looking setup. Some gold text here for his name and also in kanji. Looks really cool. On the top, you just get a nice image of the figure side of the packaging and also some Migis. Side of the packaging, nice profile shot with him with his extended blade arm. Looks really cool. Other side, exact same picture. Back of the packaging, just him in some dynamic poses. Some more shots of Migi. Everything from the side of the packaging with the stand and also his alternate heads they show you on the back here. And I imagine it's a little bit of bio, but I'm not sure. Can't read Japanese. And some legal mumbo jumbo. So let's get this guy opened up out of his cardboard prison. Alright, so now that we have Shinichi opened up out of his cardboard prison, first we go over his wide range of accessories, starting with his stand, which is actually really sweet. Which, for the most part, you would look at this and think it'd be like your normal Tamashii Nation or Figma stand, where it just has the normal articulated hinge here, so you get help with the posability of your figure. But what's actually really cool about this stand is that for the base here, you notice that it looks a little bit more stylized and kind of like a weird shaped Pokeball. But what's actually really neat is you can actually pull these apart. And what this is I've been informed, is that you can actually use these stands to combine them with other stands from the same toy line. So say if they come out more Parasyte figures, you can actually have the stands interconnecting so that they can actually be like fighting, and you can have them in poses right next to each other. Kind of like what the Tamashii Nation does, where they have like the multiple pegs on the same stand, but this just seems like a little bit cooler and a little bit safer, because then you have like the added width of the other base. And personally, I love the inclusion of this. Like, I think this idea is awesome. And then grabbing our Shinichi just to show you guys how to insert the stand into his back. Right here, you'll see there's a peg hole right on his back. Goes in there pretty snugly. By snugly, I mean super snugly. But just apply a little bit of pressure and make sure you're going in there fairly straight. Personally, I'm probably not even going to really be using this stand for the most part until they come out more figures from this line. But as you can see, Shinichi is now flying. But it does help with the added posability, especially if you're going to want to get him into more dynamic poses. So really love the inclusion of these stands. Next, he comes with an extra head sculpt, which one thing I want to point out, grabbing Shinichi here, is that for the head sculpts, they're mainly manga inspired from what I see. They're kind of a little bit bigger than what I recall from the anime. Same with the eyes are slightly different. Same with the hair coloring here too. It's very manga inspired, and overall same with pretty much the entire body, but we'll get to that in a second. But I still think it looks really awesome and kind of gives you a little bit of variety on the shelf, because primarily even seeing this, I knew it wasn't going to be quite like the anime, but it still looks pretty damn close. But the main difference between these two is that one, his hair is down on the extra head, while on the one that came attached to the body, it's actually spiked up, which I actually really love the spiked up look. But the hair down is primarily, to my understanding, would be the earlier portions of the anime, because early on, which I kind of wish he had his glasses too, but getting sidetracked. Early on, he had his hair down, and he generally wore glasses, and then certain events happen, And then his hair spikes up, which I kind of wish he maybe had the glasses on here, but I still think it looks really nice. He has a little bit more of a worried expression on this face, but the details on this head are amazing. Like they even got like some details here on the eyebrows here for the lining. Eye sculpt looks really nice. Even have a little bit of black for the outline here. Same with the mouth, it's very nicely sculpted and painted. Like there's so much detail on this head. Like it's, especially with a lot of anime figures that I have, like not a whole lot really compared to this just in terms of sculpt. And then how you just get it off is you literally just gotta pop off the head right here. Pretty simple to do. Once you get it off anyways, you'll see here that the head is on a ball joint, which pretty much all you gotta do is the pig hole is right here for the ball joint. Just slide this one back on over top. Once it gets on, it's a little bit snug there. And if you guys have any problems with this, which I might actually go do, recommend using a hairdryer. Does wonders. But once you get the head on there, looks awesome. Very Shinichi-esque. Again, kind of wish I had the glasses though, is my main complaint, but overall looks good. And then next, moving on to his hand accessories. Out of the box, he comes with a pair of fists, which one thing to point out, which is actually pretty sweet, is for this fist, looks pretty good overall. Very fist looking, nothing too out of the ordinary other than the sculpt is actually really nice for the hands. But on this one, you could probably already notice the primary difference between the two, which is you can see the little eyeball right there in his hand, because this is to help represent Migi, which is the alien life form that ends up taking over his right arm, which if you guys haven't seen the anime, and it's kind of weird they'd be checking out this action figure, but there is an alien that ends up, aliens are supposed to be trying to do is they're supposed to try to invade the brain area, eat the person's head, and then they take over the body functions and everything and just pretty much replicate the human. But Migi failed miserably, because they have a little bit of scuffle when Migi tries to invade his head and he sneezes him out. Migi gets into his hand. He wraps a headset around his arm, and Migi kind of gets trapped in here, ends up eating his arm and then replicating his arm and just pretty much taking it over. Which is the one thing that in this anime took me a little bit getting used to, because it's a little weird. But it ends up being sweet. Like, I love Migi personally, and I think it was a really cool inclusion to actually add the little eyeball in for the hand. It actually really helps to give this figure a little bit more character. And also what's really cool about these hands too is they're actually really easy to get off, because there isn't really like any little added plastic here or anything to help secure the hand in like they do with figure arts and Figma figures. Which is actually pretty nice, because it stays on there very nice and very securely without it. But I do love that I don't really have to worry about the ball joint breaking trying to get this thing off. And then moving on to his next handpiece, we're going to go with this funky looking little Migi thing here. Which is kind of like the appearance that he had when like you first meet Migi, where he just kind of looks at him and he's like, you're just like, what the fudge is going on, man? And it looks like he's trying to hug you, but the sculpt on this thing is amazing. Like, I love the amount of detail they got just on the mouth region right here, let alone the eyes. Like, the pupils look gorgeous on this thing. And he's got his little hands and the little thumb that's kind of acting like a little tail there. Looks really cool. Like, even on the other side, you still get like the hand impressions and everything, which is awesome. And then he comes with this more standard hand that I would imagine a lot of people be displaying this guy with, or just pretty much what you see in a lot of pictures, like especially that live action trailer shot, just pretty much like that. But this hand does look really nice too. Like, the eye is very well sculpted on this. I love that his middle finger is actually slightly elongated and has a little bit of a point to it. Looks really cool. Overall, love this hand as well. And then he comes with this more blade attack ready Migi, where it has this really nice sculpted blade here, where it has this really nice edge to it. Love the metallic silver paint that they use for it, where it even transitions very nicely into the flesh tones for the rest of the hand here. Looks really awesome as well. And then finally comes with an open hand with the little eye right here, which overall looks pretty basic, other than it's just sculpted very nicely. But what I think is kind of cool is just like the little eye here. Like, if you guys have ever seen Pan's Labyrinth, you probably know what I'm talking about. And then next he comes with an actual Migi figure, which overall looks amazing as well. Like, the sculpt on this thing is awesome. Like, I love the eye here, which is very similar to what we got with the hand accessories, but the details on it look really nice. Really love the mouth sculpt here. Like, there's even little lines to help replicate more of the lip texture. Looks freaking sweet. Even's got his little Migi tail right here, which is actually articulated on this one where it can spin around. Also, this can actually pop off, and what this actually does, which taking our Shinichi figure, all you do is pop off his hand, and you can actually put this Migi right onto his hand if you really wanted. Not as big of a fan of this look overall, kind of like him just a little bit by himself. But this actually works really well for his other accessory. This really elongated forearm, which overall looks really cool. Like pretty much all it is a tentacle looking skin texture thing. Which what this is to help replicate Migi actually stretching his arm out and use this for like attacks, or if you want to actually have Migi moving around doing his own little things. And what you do is you can actually pop off the arm right here at the elbow. You insert this into the elbow joint. Really easy to do, and again, no added plastic here for added security, so it slides in there pretty well, but it does stay in there very nicely, which gives him a more elongated look on his arm, which that is freaking huge. And then what you do is you just take the Migi, put it onto where you can put the hands, and you can also use a lot of other accessories that he comes with for this purpose. But I think it's really cool if you want to have him like in like a more sitting pose, or maybe even laying down. And this is kind of like Migi going off and doing his own little thing. Really love the inclusion of this. And what's also really cool about this too is for another hand accessory, which I actually forgot to go over. He comes with this bladed hand, which is when Migi just full-fledged turns into a weapon. Which overall, the paint job on this is really great as well. Like the details on this thing are awesome. Has a really nice edge and a point to it. Has this really great blade feel, and again, shifts into a nice flesh tone here. And then you attach this to the end right here. And now we have Shinichi in attack mode, which overall this looks really awesome. Really love that you actually get a little bit of articulation here as well, where the hands can actually move back and forth and also rotate around here if you want to attach any of the other hands. Same with the bend at the elbow here, and also this part can rotate all the way around. And then each of these little segments can also rotate, which is awesome. They can't really move on their own other than just rotating, but it's still really cool that there's articulated joints there nonetheless. Like overall, just love the inclusion of this. Really wouldn't really be a Parasyte figure without some kind of weirdness factor for these arms. Overall, just love it. And then we also get Migi ready to attack, which overall has a little bit more of a serious face than what we got with the other one, which I guess it's pretty much the same. I don't know, he just seems a little more serious with blades sticking out, you know? Just ready to go down to business. But the sculpt on here is awesome as well. Again, has really nice bladed edge here for the little arms here. Looks fantastic. Also, this part can articulate as well. See with the eyes on this one can actually rotate all the way around. And I think it pops off pretty easy too, so just be a little bit careful of that. And for his arms can also rotate around and also have a little bit of play to him, which is really good. And also Shinichi comes with a stump, which what you do is, when you pop off the elbow joint, you just stick this little peg right into there. Which this part is the only real part of this figure that's actually kind of hard to get in, which probably should just get a hairdryer, but for the most part you guys can see what's going on here, where it's just Shinichi has a severed arm and Migi's kind of just going off and doing his own thing. Kind of like when he goes in the tree, just waiting to attack. And it really just helps to replicate the scenario in the anime where Migi can actually replicate himself and just kind of go off and do his own thing while Shinichi just kind of waits around for his little buddy to come back to him. It's just really cool that they thought to include this with this action figure. And sadly, his left hand doesn't really get a whole lot of love, but he does come with a gripping hand, which is for a couple of his other accessories, which, getting this bad boy on here. Stop it. Stop bending. You know better. Stop it. All right. What the accessories are. A stick, which overall actually has a lot of very nice details on here, like bring it in for a closer look. You guys can see a lot of the wood grain textures. Looks freaking awesome. Like they even got a little bit of like black painting in here just to help replicate. Like imagine they went with a black undercoat and then they painted over with a brown, but it still replicates wood very nicely. Like even, I think it's towards this tip right here, you can even see the rings, like for, to tell how old it is, and that is sweet to actually include something. Like, you know how stupid of a little detail this is to incorporate in a figure? Like, if this figure didn't have this, wouldn't even really complain, you know? But it's awesome that it comes with random little stuff like this. Like, even like the details on the bark here, like there's just like enough little lip here to just definitely know that this came from nature. And if you just want to put this on your Shinichi, literally just slides into his hand. He holds it very well. Even pretty much just, I think you can just pop it right in there. I haven't really played with the weapons too much for this guy as of yet. But just moving a little bit of the thumb to the side of slightly sliding in there. Does fit in there pretty easily. Holds it very well, very securely. And then for his other accessory, a cleaver, which has a lot of really nice details in this weapon as well. You can even see here where it has some abrasions here, like this weapon looks like it's actually been used. It even has a little bit of rust inside the paint job where you can see. It's kind of hard to notice, but the little bit of copper paint that's on the inside of the blade here looks freaking awesome. Like, this weapon definitely looks like it has a little bit of age to it. Like, even the handle looks very nice as well. Even has little screw holes right there for the metal plate would attach into the handle. And again, just like the amount of detail they spent just on these little tiny accessories is awesome. Like, so far I'm super impressed with the SAS toys as of right now. And do you hold it well too, buddy? It's a little bit stiff to get in there, but does actually hang on to that very nicely as well. Like, he's just like straight out of a horror movie now. And then moving on to Shinichi himself, overall again, head sculpt looks awesome, but very manga inspired, not quite as anime inspired as I would like it to be. But the details on it are still awesome. Like, look at how much texture is on this hair here. Like, it's crazy. And then the neck also sculpted very nicely. Looks great. And then moving on to his shirt, has a lot of very nice wrinkles here to help replicate the clothing. Overall has this nice, more brownish gray texture. Definitely more on the gray side, but looks really nice. And I don't know what happened with Shinichi, but he was freaking ripped. Like, look at those biceps. Hey guys, I gotta go to the vet. Why is that, Shinichi? Because my pythons are sick. But moving on to the pants sculpt, looks really awesome. Like, you can even see a lot of the details in here where it even has the threaded look going on throughout the entirety of the pants. Like, even looking at the back section here, looks freaking awesome. Like, it looks literally like they actually sewed these pants onto them. You can even see it coming down the back of the legs here. Looks really good. And the paint job is a very washed denim jean where it's very light blue with some darker blue highlights. But it looks really nice too. Overall has a lot of very nice details. Like, just like every little minute detail this figure could possibly have, they got on it. Like, mainly the only thing that looks kind of weird is his knee right here. Kind of looks like he's wearing a knee pad. But that's mainly just for the, so you can have the double knee joint here, which I am not complaining about at all. It's just kind of like when he's standing a little bit far away, it's just kind of like he has like matching knee pads. But overall for the shoes too, like, look at how awesome these shoes look. Like, geez, man. Have this really nice weathered look to them where you can imagine that these were originally like white pair of shoes, but now they've been dirtied up a little bit. Have a lot of really nice details on this too. Like, you even see some of the stitching work here on the side of the shoes. Laces look really good. Even it has some soles on the bottom. Looks awesome. Again, this is just like another section. Like, they didn't really need to detail that, you know, but they did. I appreciate them for it. And then for his articulation, head can look down about that far using the neck joint. Head can look up about that far. Can rotate all the way around. Doesn't really have a side-to-side pivot. Like, you notice it kind of shifts a little bit, but that's just mainly just me messing with it. Like, it sits right back into place pretty quickly. So I wouldn't recommend messing with it side to side. And for his shoulders, can go up about that far, down about that far. Has a really nice play here at the base of the shoulder, and also his arm can go all the way around. Elbow can also rotate all the way around. Has actually a pretty nice bend to it, which is really good. Might like to see a double joint there, but overall it works pretty well. For his hand, can move side to side, also rotate all the way around. Has a really nice play to it. Then moving on to his waist, the upper part of his abdomen can move forward about that far, back about that far, which is, that looks like that hurts a little bit. And then for his waist, he can also move back about that far, so damn. And then can move forward about that far. And one thing to point out too is on the entire figure, everything is in there very nice, very securely, except the upper part of his pants, which kind of looks like underwear for the most part when pointing this out, but it does actually shift, which is actually very nice because it helps with the articulation, so that I imagine if this was stationary that he wouldn't get a whole lot of movement here out of his legs, because even right now if I have it shifted downward, the plastic gets in the way pretty easily. So it's really nice that this actually has a little bit of looseness, kind of like with the Monster Arts figures, so that you can actually get a little bit more out of the articulation. But his legs can move out about that far, can move in about that far. Also has a rotation here at the upper part of the leg. He can do a pretty nice forward kick. I think I can get to rotate a little bit more. There you go. Has a pretty nice forward kick on him. Can move his leg about that far back, and then for his knee, has a really nice double joint, can bend in about that far, straightens up about that far. And then for his feet, can bend down about that far, bend up about that far, Can rotate all the way around. And also has a bend at the toes. And for a quick comparison, here we have Shinichi here with some SH Monsters figure with the Burning Godzilla and Little Godzilla. And here's some Figma action figures with the Guyver Unit 1 from Guyver the Bio Boosted Armor and Kiryu and Satsuki from Kill la Kill. And here's some Robot Damashi Nation figures with the G Gundam, Burning Gundam, and Master Gundam. And here's with some Ultra Act figures with Ultraman Tiga and the original Ultraman. So overall with the SAS Shinichi and Migi, I am blown away with this action figure because the details on this thing are phenomenal. Comes with a wide range of accessories, and my only real major complaint is the elbows, which I just kind of wish it had a double joint there, but that's kind of like me complaining that the figures only has great articulation, not awesome articulation. And I just gotta say, I'm super pleased with this action figure. Like, it's definitely probably one of my favorite anime figures in my collection as of right now. I'm gonna still say Satsuki's my favorite as of right now, just it's not really Shinichi's fault that he doesn't have boobs, but I just like Satsuki a little bit better. But this figure has more than impressed me. Definitely looking forward to more figures from this line, and hopefully they put out more Parasyte figures because I need them. So what do you guys think? Have you guys picked up the SAS Shinichi? What do you guys think about Parasyte? Is Ichi's this more your thing? Please let us know in the comments. We'll have closer pictures of this guy on Facebook. You want to click the link in the description below. Help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe to become a ranger today, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Not 100% sure why I still have this lightsaber laying around, but you're gonna have this, buddy. Copyrights.